Hi, I'm Chef Ray. Welcome to my kitchen, Treasures of Food. Hello and welcome to Chef Ray's Treasures of Food. On this week's episode, I decided to honor my dad on January the 30th. It will be the 3-year passing of my dad. When I told my dad I was going to be going to culinary school, there was one question that he asked me, and I actually failed the question. And that question was, he said, "Boy, if there's nothing in the kitchen that you could cook, what could you cook?" And I said, "Well, Dad, you said, if there's nothing in the kitchen, what could I cook? There's nothing in the kitchen. I can't cook anything." And in his own unique way, he looks directly into my eyes and he says, "You can cook water." And I said, "Oh my God." Wayne, my cousin's back there laughing, but I said, "Dad, you're right. You can cook water because in realistic terms, whatever you place in that water, whatever flavor you put in that water, it is going to cook. If someone ever asks you if there's nothing in the kitchen, there is something you can cook, and that is water. You can cook water." And you've heard the old saying, some people don't know how to boil a pot of water, and that's exactly why my dad asked that question. So in saying that, I want to honor him this week's episode. And one of the things that we love having our dad do for us was grill his famous burgers. So it's been almost a year and I invited some family members over. I have 3 of my elder sisters. They don't like me to say that, but 3 of my older sisters. I have Jane, the eldest, Marilyn, we call her Niecy. And then we have Linda, and we call her Linda Faye. And then we have 2 of my dad's special nieces and nephews. We have my cousin Etta Bryant, we call her Faye Faye. And then my cousin Wayne, who we call Country. Everybody knows Wayne, so if you ever hired me to do a job, you see my cousin Wayne. He's that Ace Boone left foot or whatever you want to call it. Now, I did a smaller version of the ground beef because usually the beef was so thick that you couldn't even put it in your mouth. So I did half the size. The treasure to a good burger, he'd take pure ground beef and he would season it with salt and pepper, Lowry's, of course, some accent, black pepper, and then whatever he felt like he would put in there sometimes, but it was the best burger on this side of Texas. Here you go, Kim folk. And it's nothing like a good grilled burger. You know, you always got one of those family members, they grew up on pork, they grew up on beef, they grew up on everything, but all of a sudden, they decide that they want to get bougie and sophisticated and become pescatarians, vegetarians. I don't know, but no, she's actually doing it just because she wants to be healthy. I don't knock it. So I've grilled her a piece of salmon. Alrighty, so let's talk about the treasures of a good burger. Of course, I've got lettuce, tomatoes. I actually use buttered pickles to give it a little sweet and tanginess to the burger. And then of course, red onions. Some people like grilled onions, but I love a red onion. And then I love grilled squash and zucchini. And this was my pastime for the whole year during COVID. I grilled lots of squash and zucchini. And of course, we've got grilled corn, as well as French fries and tater tots. So we're gonna let them bon appetit, and I'm gonna introduce each sibling to you. I've got 1, 2, 3 of the other 10. Now, I will say, we are in COVID season, and everybody's got their masks. We're just getting ready to eat, so we are practicing safe COVID even though we're family. So I'm gonna introduce you to my eldest sister. You've probably heard me talk about Jane. Then the second oldest is Marilyn, Niecy. And then the fourth oldest is Linda. She just had her 60th. And then my sister Marilyn, she's the second oldest. So her claim to fame is her youthful look. So my Valentine's episode, you'll actually see her look-alike, which is Blight, which is my great niece, her granddaughter. Then I have 2 of my dad's favorite nieces and nephews, my favorite cousins. We have Etta Faye Bryant, we call her Faye Faye. And then Anthony Wayne Bryant, we call him Wayne, we call him Country. We used to pick on him. It used to be us 6 against him, but he survived.
That's exactly right.
So basically, this is how we used to do it in the country. But it used to be 20 of us sitting between the table and the floor. That's a good burger, ain't it, y'all?
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing I failed to tell y'all, when I had my restaurant, my Sunday brunch menu included my dad's burger, and I actually called it the Hillup Burger, which my dad, his full name is Hillup, Hillup. But they called him Bill. But I had a Hillup Burger, so when he visited my restaurant and saw that his name was on my menu, he says, now I should be getting some dividends for every burger that you sell, right? And I said, I don't know about that. He says, well, did you ask to use my name? I said, it's the Hillup Burger. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I guess I'll have to compensate you. But basically what they have today is the Hillup Burger. Compared to my dad's Hillup Burger, his burger. A 4.
I'll give it a 4.
A 4.
I'll give it a 4.
4 plus? All right, cousin.
Hillup.
My cousin said a 4 and half the plate gone already.
Yes, sir.
You should have said a 5.
Good. Your dad had the 5.
Oh, okay.
Your dad had the 5.
It's that time. It's cake time.
That's what she said.
My mom would say, where's my dessert?
And she's serious about it. In the blood.
Okay, so everybody heard about, I was talking about my German chocolate pound cake in the pound cake episode. This is the last one that I've mastered. Oh, don't that look good, sister? Now, what I failed to tell you, my sister is also a chef. Now, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I talked about Penitent's Fried Chicken.
That's right.
Well, she was running Penitent's Fried Chicken. She got me the job at Penitent's Fried Chicken. She worked for Luby's for 37 years.
I worked 7 years at Penitent's.
7 years at Penitent's. So 40 years in food service. COVID basically made her say, okay, it's time for me to wrap it up. But a lot of my skills, I have to give her credit as well. It's not quite yet post-COVID yet, but it's a wonderful feeling to be with family and to be able to share this day with my sisters and my 2 favorite cousins. And we're gonna spend a moment, I'm gonna have them just talk about Dad for a moment and what special food that he prepared or they used to like to eat, and then we'll wrap it up. But it looks like so the German chocolate, right?
Yes.
Grandma Henry be proud, right?
Yes.
Very proud.
Yeah. Oh, Grant. Yeah. See, you on
I haven't had it.
You haven't had it yet. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna start with the oldest sister, which is Jane. She was one of the primary caretakers for both my mom and dad, as well as Linda and Nisi, and my sister Betty wasn't here. They were do the weekends. They're gonna basically just say some things about my dad, what treasure of food that reminds them and what they miss about my dad, and then hopefully give you a treasure or a hint on how to prepare some of it.
I know I'm not gonna be long. Okay. Well, Daddy, he used to like to cook quite a bit of different things. But I knew my mother, she did all the cooking really.
Okay, so hold on one second. I'm gonna interrupt my sister. Hold on one second. Now I just told her it needed to be quick, so she's been going to a full dissertation. Now, I'm gonna help her out because I'm gonna give a backstory to this, right?
Okay, go ahead.
When my dad retired, he went into the hog business. And at that time, the price of pork was so low, he was like, all they doing is taking my retirement. But it was not a hog pen. My dad had a universal, top-of-the-art, state-of-the-art hog pen. His hogs were off the ground, meaning they were up on planks.
Yes.
The summertime, because pork has to stay cool or it goes bad. Summertime, he had a sprinkler system that would go off that would keep them cool. Now, I'm going to turn it back over to her.
Yes.
So I'm helping her out. Go ahead.
It was like every week, like he had to have them chitlins. It was almost year-round, seemed like. And we all learned to eat them, and they were very good. And he made sure that he could get all the skim of the fat off so it wouldn't make any of us sick or anything. He would change the pans as many times as he did. When we got them, they would never be greasy. And they were very good.
Hello, my name's Marilyn. Everybody calls me Nisi. The family do. What I remember mostly about my father was the fried fish. Back in the day, people fried fish.
Fresh seafood. That's the important thing.
Fresh seafood. But
We grew up on the Gulf Coast, which it was in the backyard basically. We were 6 feet below sea level, Freeport. And my dad knew all the local shrimpers, crabbers, you name it. And that's when they would actually bless the fleet, meaning the ships, before the season started. Go ahead.
Okay. And the fried fish, because he didn't believe in a such thing of fillet fish. He believed in bonefish. And I mean, that's with the head and tail and all. And that was the best eating fish. The only thing I had a fear about was bones get stuck in my throat. But other than that, it was good that way. And today I still prefer that way.
Hello, I'm Linda, and what I remember about my dad, his cooking, it was great. And what I remember most too, they used to get in, Mom and Dad used to get in the kitchen and have competition to see who cooked the best. But I remember I was pregnant with my son, and he introduced me to fish and grits. And that was the best, fish and grits, because I know he cooked it with love. And I'm just so grateful to be here today with my family. I'm emotional, but I'm just so grateful that I just like to say his nice saying he would say is so nice to be nice and so sweet to be sweet.
Hello, my name's Wayne. They call me Country, not exactly sure why, but what I remember most about Uncle Bill was his beans. We didn't grow up with a lot of money, but he would make a great pot of beans. And as his daughter Jane, my cousin Jane, said about the pork, I remember him making homemade links from the hogs that he would sometimes put in the beans. But I also enjoyed his storytelling. He had good stories. So he once said that he could tell that he fished from a she fish in muddy water. So he had some amazing stories. But he was like his daughter Linda said, he was just a great man, and we enjoy sitting around and having food with family and friends.
Hi, my name is Faye, and they call me Faye Faye. And what I remember most about my Uncle Bill is his barbecuing. He always had a special something that he would put in there, but he wouldn't tell me. But if I walk out that way he is around the pit, he said, just don't worry about it. When you taste it, you're going to love it. You just tell Uncle how good it is. And again, he was just a wonderful person, and he instilled a lot of good things in all of us.
And guess what? There's no tip on the table. But it's all good. That's part of being family. Now, I like to close and just thank my sisters and my cousins for coming and spending the afternoon with me. It's been a blast. Well, you've heard all the great things about my dad. For most of you that don't know, I never told anybody my nickname, Ray Ray. And if you were not family, or if you didn't know me on the personal Ray Ray level, you were not to call me Ray Ray. But my dad called me Ray Ray up until I was 38. And I basically told him one day, I said, Dad, I'm a little too old to be called Ray Ray. He says, I'll let you know when you're old enough not to be called Ray Ray. And I said, yes, sir. Well, the first visit to my restaurant in 2010, he comes in, he smiles, and he greets me with a Mr. Dothert. And it dawned on me that was the last time that he had called me Ray Ray before that. But up until that point, he called me Ray Ray. And in 2010, until his death, when he would greet me, he would say, hello, Mr. Dothert. Yeah. So for me, that was the confirmation and affirmation that I had earned his total respect, and that now I can be called Mr. Dothert. So I miss hearing him say that. So sometimes I walk around and tell myself, hello, Mr. Dothert. If you ever came to my parents' home or my relatives' home, you always left with a goodie bag, meaning it was gonna feed you for the next 2 days. So of course we had hamburgers, and my family know if I would let them go and they don't have anything to take with them, they'd be like, something ain't right here. Yeah, you heard what my cousin said. He was like, something wrong with Ray. Ray's sick. So I'm sending them home with dinner. They love my roasted chicken, my salt. You see how happy they got? All of a sudden, all of a sudden they got the Holy Ghost. That quick. But they love my roasted chicken, which is one of the treasures. The sauteed spinach rice, and of course my green beans you can't go without. So they actually have their meal for tonight. All right. So thank y'all. God bless. Love you, love you, love you. And look forward to seeing y'all post-COVID. Stay masked up, hands washed, but you still can show love.